You have a question that is battering you. Okay, battering question, something you want to know. And you have been seeking for an answer for a very long time. I want to give you your answer today. You have a question? As I wait for your questions, I want to remind you the program of the Crypto Ambassadors. We have a training program, and this training program runs Monday to Saturday. And at 7:30 East Africa Standard Time, that is me with maybe Coach Musa and other leaders. We teach about trading view. Then on those that are interested in team building, we have a special group called Go Beyond Average, where we only talk about team building. So I do a training about team building. You just need to use your upline. If you're interested in building a team, we have a special group we run where we talk about team building skills, social media skills. And there we talk about sharing the opportunity. Sharing the opportunity. You can use your upline, not me, to get into that group. Unless when it is me who introduced you in the business, but you can use your upline to get into that group. Then that is every day at exactly 8:30 to 9:30. Sorry, to 9. Usually it is supposed to take 30 to 45 minutes. Then after that training, Monday to Friday, we have this training. On Monday, we talk about signals and presets. You want to learn about signals and presets. Monday, Tuesday, and now that program of Monday will be taken off by Mr. Mbiru Spirito. Monday, signals and presets, how to set signals. Then Tuesday, we have Mr. Kasivante Abe stroke Mr. Hanix taking us through the compensation plan of Royalq. That will be Tuesday. Wednesday, we have Leader Manish taking us through the BTC pair settings and the Bitcoin halving power. Thursday, we have Mr. Christopher Sembatia taking us through, and I will also call upon Mr. Mopiwa, if he's back, taking us through team building. Then we have a Friday where I must come and do robotic settings and also question and answer session. So what is your question? Today I want to start with your question. What is your question? What is your question? And I can give you my answer. Okay, good morning, Leader Julius. Question 1, please. I want to know how to open more margin call when the coin is in floating loss. Good. When the coin is in floating loss. Okay, thank you so much. So, first and foremost, I want us to understand what is floating loss, all right? I want us to first understand what is floating loss. So I'll go to my Royalq and I'll pick up a coin. So what you see here is basically floating loss. What is floating loss? We have what we call position amount. That is the total amount of money you have invested in that particular coin. We have something we call position quantity. Those are the number of coins you have bought using the money you have invested. We have what we call average price. Average price is basically when you enter a certain coin, whenever the robot buys. So let me use the red color. So let me use the robot buys here. It buys here. And it buys here. I'll use the blue color to connect the dots. Okay. Now, when the robot buys here the first time, and it buys here the second time, and it buys here the third time. it adds up these two or these three and it creates an average. And that's what we call the average price. So when the current price, let me say the current price is around here. When the current price is lower than the average price, you'll have a negative return rate, and that is what we call floating loss. Let me explain in more detail. Peter, let me use my whiteboard. Let me use my whiteboard. Let me use my whiteboard. And I'll say, Peter buys 1 bar of gold. All right. So Peter buys 1 bar of gold. All right. Now, when Peter buys the 1 bar of gold, the cost of 1 bar of gold is $10,000. On the today is the 19th. On the 19th of May 2023. After 2 days, Peter goes back. So no, let me do this. Let me do this. Okay. Here, Q will stand for quantity. P will stand for price. I'll call it price. Okay, price. And this one will be invested money. I will stand for invested money. So Peter buys 1 bar of gold, and the price of this gold was $10,000. So that is how Peter bought. That's how much Peter invested. After 2 days, Peter goes back to the area where he bought, or the shop where he bought his bar of gold. Peter still has 1 bar of gold, but the price of gold is $8,000. But Peter invested $10,000. After 3 days, Peter still has 1 bar of gold, but the price of gold is $5,000. What is happening is that Peter is on what we call a floating loss. Why? Because Peter bought his gold $10,000, but the current price of this gold is $5,000. So Peter is on to what we call a floating loss. I have a question. Has Peter lost his gold? I need some answers. Has Peter lost his gold? I want us to participate. Has Peter lost his gold? I need some answers in the chat. Has Peter lost his gold? Let me know. Has Peter lost his gold? I need some answers in the chat. Has Peter lost his gold? How do they say how many? How many gold pieces does Peter have? How many gold pieces does Peter have? How many gold pieces? How many gold pieces does Peter have? Unless you understand this, 1. Someone is saying he has lost half. Sure. Do I need to repeat again? Someone is saying he has lost half. Henry. Let me repeat for you. Peter, I'm just repeating for the last time. Peter went to a shop and bought 1 bar of gold. And the price of the 1 bar of gold was $10,000. After 2 days, Peter has 1 bar of gold, but the price of the gold has gone to $80,000. After 3 days, Peter still has 1 bar of gold, but the price of the gold is $5,000. Mr. Henry, how many pieces of gold does Peter have? Let me come back. Mr. Henry, how many pieces of gold does Peter have? How many pieces of gold does Peter have? I don't know where the 3 is coming again. I don't know where people get the 3 pieces of gold. Let me come again. Peter bought 1 bar of gold at $10,000. After 1 day, Peter still has 1 bar of gold, but now the price of this gold is $80,000. After 3 days, Peter still has 1 bar of gold, but the price of the gold is $5,000. How many pieces of gold does Peter have? How many pieces of gold does Peter have? Good. Good. Peter has 1 gold, but what has happened to his gold? I need an answer. But what has happened to his gold? What has happened to this gold? Peter still has 1 bar of gold, but what has happened to his gold? Because Peter bought his bar of gold when it was $10,000. Yes, thank you so much. The price of the gold has gone down. Thank you so much. The value of the gold has reduced. But has Peter lost his gold? Has Peter lost his gold? I have a question. Has Peter lost his gold? I have a question. Has Peter lost his gold? That's the most important answer. Has Peter lost his gold? Beautiful. No, Peter has not lost his gold. I want to come back to my screenshot, to my Royalq. What you see on my screen is this. I invested $42 in cover. I have 41.5 coins of cover, but I'm at a floating loss of -5. The question is, have I lost my cover? I want an answer. Have I lost my cover? I need an answer in the chat. Have I lost my cover coins? Have I lost my cover coins? What has happened to 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 my cover coins? I need an answer in the chat. What has happened to my cover coins? Now, I need an answer in the chat. What has happened to my cover coins? What has happened to my? I want us to be a little bit not so technical. I don't want to be a little bit so what has happened to my cover coins? It is losing value. Yes, the price you bought has gone down. Yes, there is a reduction in the price, but I have not lost my cover coins. That's the most important statement. I still have my 41.5, but the average price of my 41.5 coins of cover is 1 point this which means, and the current price is this. So the difference between the current price and the average price is what we call floating loss. Let me get back to the gold to create the meaning of the game. So Peter bought 1 bar of gold at $10,000. After 2 days, Peter went back and his bar of gold is now $8,000. After 3 days, he went back and his bar of gold is $5,000. After 8 days, Peter checks the price of his bar of gold, and each bar of gold is $20,000. At first, we said that Peter was at a floating loss. So floating loss is not real loss because Peter still had his 1 bar of gold. It's not real loss because you don't lose your asset. Now, Peter gets back after 5 days and his 1 bar of gold is $20,000. What is Peter facing right now? What Peter is facing right now is what we call floating profit. What Peter is facing now is what we call floating profit. So Peter has moved from floating loss to floating profit. Now, Peter has a choice. Peter still has the same gold, but now Peter is at floating profit. Am I right? Let me know in the chat. Peter still has now 1 bar of gold. Am I right? But now Peter is into what we call floating profit. Now, Peter has 2 decisions. And this is why people quit Royalq. Peter has 2 decisions: to either sell his gold and get the $20,000 or keep his gold. Is someone understanding what I'm saying? Now, I have a question for you. When Peter sells his gold, will he have the same gold again? I have a question. If Peter sells his gold, will Peter have the same gold again? Now, look what happened to Peter, ladies and gentlemen. Look at what happened to Peter. What Peter did when he saw his gold, what Peter did when he saw that his gold is at $20,000, Peter sold his gold. But after 4 days, Peter found that his gold, ladies and gentlemen, Peter found that his gold is now $50,000. The question in the chat: if you were Peter, how would you feel? You sold when it was at 20, you come back to check, now it is at 50. If you were Peter, how would you feel? I need something in the chat. If you were Peter, can I repeat? Okay, let me repeat. Peter is now at floating profit. You remember Peter is now, he bought 1 bar of gold at $10,000. He checked after 2 days, it was 8,000. He checked after 3 days, it was 5,000. He checks after 8 days, it is now $20,000. Here he was at floating loss. Now he gets into floating profit. And when Peter saw his gold at 20,000, he sold. After another 5 days, Peter, he finds that his bar of gold is $50,000. If you were Peter, how would you feel? If you were Peter, I need people to participate. If you were Peter, how would you feel? If you were Peter, how would you feel? If you were Peter, how would you feel? Okay. Now, this takes me to a very important statement in cryptocurrency that says trading is about how you feel when you are in profit and how you feel when you are in floating loss. So I'm going to phrase it this way. Trading in Royalq is about how you feel when you are in floating loss and how you feel when you are in floating profit. Because when you are in floating profit, in floating loss, you feel like you have lost, and some of you sell at loss. Even when you are in floating profit, you feel like you are making, you have some profit and you sell immediately. Can someone now compare with my statement that it is how you feel when you are in floating profit and how you feel when you are in floating loss, because there is no loss in Royalq. Can you understand me? Can you understand me now? If you understand me, give me one in the chat. Now, give me one in the chat if you understand me. Give me one in the chat if you understand me. Good, beautiful. Now, ladies and gentlemen listening to me right now, if you are in floating loss and you don't have capital to buy more of that asset as it is going down, I have a question. Have you lost your money? I need an answer. This is the reason why I'm still in Royalq for the close now to 2 years, and so many people have left. If you are in floating loss and you don't have money to buy more of that coin, have you made a loss? I need an answer, ladies and gentlemen. Have you made a loss? Now, it is important as a trader to get emotions out of the game. Usually people get annoyed. That I'm in floating loss, but you have not lost anything. No loss in Royalq. There is no loss in Royalq. I've had YouTubers make a lot of noise. I have had people make a lot of noise. I've even had some leaders. One of the reasons why I ran away from my upline, I had one of my uplines say, you either, what was she saying? You either sell at current loss or the market goes with your money. I have another question as I come back to the question of the day, how to open margin calls. I have another question as I come to the question of the day, how to open margin calls when you're on floating loss. Have some of you experienced staying long in a certain coin on floating loss and returns in big profit? Can I find out? Someone here, have you experienced a time when you had a coin that was floating and it returns and you make profit? Let me know. If you have been Royalq for some time, you had a coin that was at floating loss, because if you haven't, it doesn't matter. For you, if you're on floating loss and doesn't return, the previous answers give you answers. You have been in floating loss and your coin sold. The floating loss overcame. The market raised. No, when you have not even done anything. What I mean, it takes you back to my explanation. Peter bought gold at $10,000. Then later, after some time, the same gold went to $20,000 and he sold. It means Peter moved from floating loss to floating profit. Now, if you are having floating loss, the first thing you need to get out of floating loss, one is called capital. You need more money. It's the first step. You need more money. Now let's go to opening up more margin calls on floating loss. I'll go to my Royalq, and I'm particularly, wow, mana has risen by 10%. Beautiful. Let me check up something. Let me tell you a secret, by the way, before I continue. Some of you struggle with signals. But you see, if you come and find a coin here, -5, -8, you just buy these last coins. In the next 24 hours, you'll be in profit. Yesterday, the last coin here was Gala. Let me show you that screenshot by the Doris Angel. Before I go to signals. Doris Angel. She's one of my best leaders. Where are you? Okay. This was Gala yesterday. It was at -5. Yesterday, around 11 a.m., around the same time I'm speaking to you, Gala was at -5. Let us check now. Let us look for Gala now. Gala. It was the last at -5. Now it has -2, -3. Is it true that Gala has given Leader Doris a profit of 2%? I have a question for you guys. Is it true that Gala has given Leader Doris a profit of 2%? Some answers in the chat. Is it true that Gala has given Leader Doris a profit of 2%? I need some answers in the chat. I need participation. I need participation. Is it true that now don't struggle with Julius's signals all the time? If you want to trade, I need participation. Money is free in Royalq. You struggle. Why struggle? Money is free. Me, I want you to monitor. The last coin, even now, I can take a screenshot and I post on the group. Let me do this. I will quote it. The last coin is ARB. This is the last coin at the bottom. I'll check up tomorrow. Let me post this in 300 days challenge. Let me post this in 300. Let me post this in Crypto Ambassador. Crypto Ambassador 1 and Crypto Ambassador 2. I'll focus on this. I'll check tomorrow. Now, those who don't attend training, they might pick it up, or they might say what is Julia saying, but it's up to them. So what happens? You can pick a coin that's doing poorly. Make sure I use the default settings, because the default settings of Royalq, they go up to negative 15%. Anybody who has a capital of less than $500, use default setting. You come and pick this one at the bottom, because the default settings will take you up to
to -15, which means this coin has to go down up to -18. And if you reach and find a chance when a coin is -8, -10, and use default setting, you will enjoy. You see this fluctuation here. Mana has risen 10% from this is 24 hours since yesterday. If we check Mana is not the one leading the table. But since the last 24 hours, you see, Mana is at -1. So if someone bought Mana yesterday when it was at -10, this person has taken 10%. Do you copy? Do you copy? Do you copy? I want participation. I want participation. I want people to participate. Do you copy? Oh, Julius, I want to make money. Hey, Julius, I'm dying. Why are you dying? You pick a coin that is in negative, you trade. There is no reason of trading view. I said trading view is just an extra skill. Yes, a coin in red. Look here, guys. Look here. Before I go to floating loss. Look here. You just monitor this coin, this one. I don't know, it might continue going down. That's why I advise default settings, because default settings, they will give you +15, which is close to 18%, 19% drop. Default setting. Julius, what do you mean by default setting? Let me show you. Come here. I'm still handling the question of floating loss. You are the problem. The problem is not the robot. You are the problem. You are the person who causes floating loss to yourself. Come here on my strategy setting. You have less than $500. Come here on my strategy setting. Create a strategy that has default. What do I mean by default? Things that came with Royalq. Margin calls here, put 4. Put 4. Take profit, you take 3% or 2.5 if you fear, 3%. As it is. This will take, it is 16 plus 8 plus 4 plus 2 plus 1 the first time, which will be 31. 31 times 15 is how much? It is around 465. This here is a multiple buying ratio. This here is a multiple buying ratio of the first buying amount, which is 15 here. So even if I have $1,000, I can decide to use double up. I double, but I use default setting. Because this is 5 plus this, that is already 9.7. 9.7 plus 4 is, I'm not very good in mathematics. That's the problem. That would be 13.7. Am I right? I don't know. Now 13.7 plus 3.5. These issues carry 1. 13.7 plus 3.5. Now 532 carry 1. This is 7. 6 3 plus 3, 7 plus 1, 17.2. But if that is your problem is mathematics. Why do you have a smartphone yet it has a calculator? Come and say, what is here? 5.2. Some people can die because of mathematics. Yet they have 4.5 plus 4.5. You have a calculator. Why is it called a smartphone? You think they did not know that you went to school 3.5, 17.2. So instead of you dying on the thing, don't you have a smartphone? Doesn't it have a calculator? Do you copy? Do you copy? I'm going to the question. Do you copy? Me, I don't know how to calculate. Me, the calculations are disturbing me. Why do you have a smartphone? Why do you have a smartphone? You are killing us with, my leader, come on Zoom. What's the problem? You have a calculator. Let me share my screen again. You have a calculator. You have a smartphone. Why do you suffer? What is this one? This one is here. It is 16. It is 8. It is 4. It is 2. It is a multiple buy-in ratio of the first buying amount that you have put here, 15. So come here and say on your calculator, 2 plus 4 plus 8 plus 16, which is 30. It means the robot is going to go 30 times down the market. Plus the first time the robot went into the market, 31 times 15, it is 465. This is the total amount of money you need to use this multiple buy-in ratio here. So if you don't have $465, do not use this system of doubling. Go and use the Fibonacci, which is 2 plus 3 equals 5. 5 plus 3 equals 8. Then go to your calculator. 8 plus 5 plus 3 plus 2, 18. Plus the first time the robot went into the market, 1, which is 19, times the first buying amount, 15, which is 285. It means for the robot to buy when the market drops, you need $285 for this. If you don't have this, then use the plus 1, which is 2, 3, 4, 5. You got your calculator. 5 plus 4 plus 3 plus 2, 14 plus 1, 15. 15. You need $225 to use this plus 1. $225. If you don't have 225, then go 1 plus 2, 1, 2, 3, and 4. What does that mean? 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 is what? Is 10 plus 1, 11 times 15. You need $165 for your robot to buy. Now, listen to me, ladies and gentlemen. Why should we increase the first time we bought, not to be equal to the second time we bought, not to be equal to the third time we bought, not to be equal to the fourth time we bought, especially for the first 4 margin calls, if we decide to use one shot? Because whenever the robot buys the first call and the money is more than what it bought previously, let me go back to my coin called Canva. Let me go back. I'm going to save this. I'm going to come back again. Let me go back to my coin called Canva here. Whenever the robot does it, ladies and gentlemen, it pulls the average price closer to the current price. Now let's go back to our example of gold. Let's go back to, I'm explaining floating loss. Let's go back to our example of gold. Peter bought 1 bar of gold at $10,000, first buying amount. Peter goes back to the bar of gold and finds that the gold is $8,000. He finds the price is $8,000. Because Peter understands that it is important to double what he bought at first, Peter decides to take $20,000. Peter doubles his first investment by 2. This is the double up. It means Peter is going to use $20,000 to buy. Peter is going to use $20,000 to buy gold whose price is at $8,000. Let's go to a calculator. Peter now is going to use $20,000 because he's doubling. Divide by the price. Peter will get 2.5 bars of gold. At first, Peter had 1 bar of gold at $10,000. The price of the gold went to $8,000. Peter invested $20,000. He has now 2.5. Now Peter again comes back and finds that the price of the gold is $5,000. Here he had invested twice. Now here he comes 4 times, which is $10,000, the first buying amount. Now times 4, which is $40,000. And now the price of the gold is $5,000. Peter is now going to get 8 bars of gold. It means that Peter has a total 9, 10, 11. He has a total of 11.5 bars of gold. He bought the first gold at $10,000. He bought the second gold at $8,000. And he bought the third gold at $5,000. So let's go to a calculator. The first price was at $10,000. The second price was at $8,000. The third price was at $5,000. The total is 23 divided by 3 times, which means Peter has an average of $7,666. This is the average price of Peter's gold. Now, Peter, now you must have been following. If you don't follow, this is the average price. Now what happens? Once the price of the gold gets to $10,000, Peter will sell and Peter will be in profit. Do you copy? Do you copy? Do you copy? Let me know. Do you copy? Do you copy? Type a 1 in the chat. Do you copy? Now, some of you, you put all your money once in the market. You buy your gold at $10,000. The gold becomes cheap. You don't want to buy more. The gold becomes cheaper. You don't want to buy more. The gold becomes cheaper. You don't want to buy more. And what happens? You stay in a coin for a very long period of time. Whenever the coin gets cheap, you have already finished your money. Am I making you copy? Peter does not need the price. I have a question. Does Peter need to wait for the price of the gold to get back to $10,000 to sell? I have a question. Does Peter need? Give me an answer in the chat. Does Peter need to wait for the gold to get back to $10,000? Does Peter need? Now, Kavuma, you are not following. You are dealing with your emotions. If you don't follow, you remain the way you came. Does Peter need Does Peter need to wait for the coin to get back to $10,000? Thank you so much. No. That's why we do not put all our money as first buying amount. Does that make sense now? Does that make sense now? I don't need to put all my money as my first buying amount when I'm setting my coin. I don't need to put all my money as my first buying amount as I set the coin. Because if I do, when the market goes against me and this coin becomes cheaper, my robot will not be able to buy more. Is that understood? Give me a two if you have understood that. If he has no more money to put, I'm not the problem. You share the opportunity and create the capital. What can one do if you place all their money as the first buying amount? Nothing. You have put all your money as the first buying amount. Are we okay now? Are you following? Type I'm following in the chat. 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 Good, good, good. I move with the movers. I move with the movers. Now, this is what some of you do. This is what some of you do. You get your first buying amount here and you put your $500 or your $5,000. Now, you reach a time and the market goes against you. And now you come here and say, the market has gone against me. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to get another $200 and I open margin call. I have a question for you. Your first buying amount is $500. Now you remove it here. You remove it here and you put 15. Even if you put double up here, I have a question. I'll use my gold again. Even if you use this method here, this money you are using to buy, it has no power to pull the average price closer to the current price because you are not buying more of the first amount of money you started with. You are buying more of the second amount of money you are buying with. Let me repeat the same stuff. Let me use my bars of gold. Look here, guys. Follow closely. Follow closely. Follow closely. Very closely. It's now going to be a little bit tactic. Peter buys his one bar of gold with $10,000. That is his first buying amount. The price of the gold gets to $8,000. And Peter now buys more gold now with $30. I have a question. Okay, let me first finish up. Then the price of the gold, the price of the gold gets to $5,000. And then Peter comes again and buys more gold with $60. Now let's add the average price. Let's go to a calculator. He started with $10,000. He came again with 30. He came again with 60. Does this have any effect on the average price? I have a question. Does this have any effect on the average price? Because if we divide his purchasing power 3 times, if we divide his purchasing power, I don't need to divide. I don't need to divide it. This is what Peter has invested.
this. You see, Peter to sell, at least he needed to wait for his coin to get to close to $10,000. Do you see that? Do you see that? Do you see that? It has no effect. There is no power. You are doing nothing. No effect. No effect. If you understand what I'm saying, type no effect in the chat. No effect. Peter is just playing in the market. Peter is just playing in. Peter is a joker. Peter thought that if he starts with $10,000 and later he comes with his 30, his 40, Peter is doing nothing in the market. Now I have a question in the chat and I need an answer. Is it important for everybody to start with a little fast buying amount? I need an answer in the chat. Is it important for everybody to start with a little fast buying amount? I need an answer in the chat. Is it important? Is it important? I need an answer in the chat. Is it important for everybody to start with a little faster buying amount? Thank you so much. It is very important. Now, someone may say, but Julius, yes, it is important. I'll make little money. Someone will say, it doesn't matter how much capital you have, sir. It doesn't matter how much capital you have. It doesn't matter, sir. It doesn't matter how much capital you have. For you, if you say no, you continue. You know, me, I have no problem. For you, if you say no, me, I will start big. Enjoy the process. You will learn it the hard way. You learn it the hard way. The good thing here, we are dealing with money. For you say no, me, I always start big. I'll pay. You will learn it the hard way. It doesn't matter how much capital you have. You need to start with a little fast buying amount. So that if the market goes against you, you can be able to maneuver through. When I talk about a little fast buying amount, I don't mean $15. No. Depending on how much you have, if you can meet the power of buying more when the market goes against. Now, if you have less than $500, use default settings. Let me come back. I'll get back to this later. Come here, my strategy setting. If you have less than $15, make this 4. It's okay, this could be 3.01. Good take profit 0.01. This is okay. One short. This could be reduced, no problem. I recommend this. And I encourage everybody to at least have a capital of $500, which is $465, and be able to compound. Be able to compound every time you take profit. I'll not talk about compounding here. Now, if you have bought a coin, now I'm into opening extra margin calls. If you have bought a coin like this one, and the market goes against you, what are you supposed to do? Step 1, at first you had 4 margin calls. Now what you're going to do, come here, increase the margin calls. Ask yourself, how more margin calls do I want to create? For example, you had 4 and you want to add in more 10. The robot has bought 4, the market has not sold, and you want to add in more 10 margin calls. You just come here where you had 4, and add 10. And there you are good to go. Now, Here, the robot, whatever it bought here, it will sell at once. Whatever it bought, margin call 1, 2, 3, and 4, it will sell at once. But from margin call number 5, each call is independent. From margin call number 5 to your margin call 14, each call is independent. It means it can be bought alone and sold alone. Then you ask yourself, how deep do I want to go? You say, from where the coin is, maybe I want to go 30% deep. Just get 30%, divide it by your 10 margin calls, which means I will come and say, if I take average, that I want when the market drops by 3%, by 3%, by 3%, by 3%, which means all my 10 margin calls will cater for a 30% drop, 30%. Am I making sense? Because I'm about to finish. Am I making sense? Let me know in the chat. The robot has already bought your 4 margin calls. Now you want to buy more margin calls. The first question you say, how deep do I want to go? You say, I want to go 30% deep, 20% deep. It's up to you. Then you say, 30. How many margin calls do I want to open? 10. So I want to open 10. So each margin call drop will be 3%, 3%, 3% when taking the average. Or you can say, yes, I want to go 30% deep, but what I will do from here, I want my robot to buy 1 time. Here I also want to buy 1 time. Here I want also to buy 1 time when the market falls by 1, but from the 9th call. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4. Maybe also this one you want when the market falls by 1%. You can do 1%, 2%, it's up to you. Then you say the remaining calls. Now this is 5. Then you say maybe the remaining calls are for, then you say 5%, 5%. It's up to you how you want to distribute. This is 15. So 15 plus the first 5, that is 20. So you are remaining with another 10. Then maybe you say 5%. Then you say here, the remaining, this is 20, 25. Then you put 5%. It's up to you. This you just distribute according to the percentage drop you want. Now, after handling the drop, then you say, how much capital do I have? How much capital do I want to expose? Then you say, my first buying amount is 15. I have only $150, but my first buying amount is 15. So what am I going to do? 15 divided by the 10 margin calls, which is 15. So I will just come here and I say 1 time. Whenever the market drops, the robot buy 1 time, 1 time, 1 time, 1 time, 1 time, 1 time, 1 time. If you have more money you want to use, then you say, I have $500. I want my robot, whenever the market drops, I want to be putting in $50, $50, $50, $50. Then you just say 15 times 2 is 30. 15 times 2.5 is what? 35. 15 times 3 is 45. 15 times 3.2 is 48. 15 times 3.4 is 51. So 15 times 3.9. 3.39. 3.38. 3.36. 3.34. 3.33. 3.34. Okay, 3.33. So my robot will buy 15.33 and it puts in $49.95. So the times here I will put 3.333. 3.333. So whenever the market will fall by 1%, my robot will put in $50. Whenever the robot falls by 9%, by 1%, the robot will put in $3. Whenever the market will fall by 5%, my robot will put in $50. Am I making sense, guys? Let me know in the chat. Am I making sense to somebody? Am I making sense to somebody? Which method now should we use from the 10 call? Am I making sense to somebody? The +1, the +2, the Fibonacci works very well for the first 4 margin calls. It works very well for the first 4 margin calls. But here, how deep do you want to go and how much capital do you have? Because each call is independent. Each call is independent from the 5th call down. Each call is independent. And people that don't attend training, they will keep on seeing the Nimbus clouds. May I tell them? So whenever the market will fall by 1%, my robot will put in $50, $50, $50, 50. Remember, I have prepared to go 30% deep. What is this? Some people are wasting time with the nonsense that is on Twitter. If you are building your business on social media, then you are wasting time. I don't know. I think Leader Preshi, are you here?
Yes, Leader Julius, I'm here. Good morning.
Good morning. There are so many people who are not in Crypto Ambassadors, but they are in our group. Because
yes,
the behavior of Crypto Ambassadors is different. We have built a mindset for a longer time. Anybody who continues to post that nonsense or that is happening on Twitter, just remove them.
Oh, okay. All right, my lead.
They go and post their nonsense on their own groups.
Okay.
Because as Crypto Ambassadors, we don't build business according to social media. Your money is in your Binance. Someone is busy everywhere. Royalq Binance. Does that affect your business?
No, it doesn't.
So if they continue with that stuff, I saw it. You know what? Please, if you're online, just remove them. Let them go. No,
yesterday I was trying to clarify. I was trying to make it clear for them to understand that, you know, the information that they need to check is exactly in their Binance, not for them to go on Twitter and take everything and bring it in the group.
They're wasting a lot of time. I see they are overemphasizing it. So when they continue, just remove. Let us move on, because I see someone is overposting it over and over.
All right, my lead.
You just remove. They go and post their business on their own groups.
All right.
Okay, so let's continue. Sorry for that, guys, but you see, I'm allergic to negativity. So you make sure that whatever, this call is independent. This call is independent. So it means, let's get back here. When you come on the distributed take profit allocation here, this is from margin call number 5 up to, let me, 999. So whenever the robot will buy margin call number 8, it will give you 1.3% of your $50. So it will sell this call alone. So as you are in floating loss, you will be making money. I don't know if someone is understanding what I'm saying. As you are in floating loss, you will be making money. As you are on floating loss, you'll be making money.
All right. As you on floating loss, you'll be making money. As you on floating loss, you'll be making money. As you on floating loss, you'll be making money. As you on floating loss, you'll be making money. Does someone understand what I'm saying? Because you are buying the dip of that coin. So you can say, I want to set my margin calls 50% dip. So it has already bought the 4. So you go 50% dip. It means your robot is buying and selling, buying and selling, buying and selling before it sells everything it bought at the start. Am I making some sense? Let me find out. Am I making some sense? Am I making some sense? What about the one? If you have no more money, you just wait until the market will return to your average price. I don't know if someone is understanding. Now, let's get back to this coin. Now, this is my Canva. I have now opened more margin calls, right? I have now opened more margin calls. Then I save. After I've saved, come here and change the strategy mode. We have 3 strategies in Royalq. We have the whole warehouse mode, which means whatever the robot has bought from margin call number 1 to margin call number 4, it sells at once. Then we have the sub-bin mode, which means the robot sells margin call number 5, gives a profit of 1.3%. But what happens? It does not return the profit. It uses the profit to move the average price closer to the current price. That's why I say the opening up of margin calls, to put in the strategy mode of this one needs when someone, his margin calls have been buying with good money, maybe around $100, or maybe you are using like $200 each call or $500 each call. Because there, when you put in the sub-bin mode real time, the sub-bin mode here, the effect will be felt to move this average price closer to the current price so that the robot can sell the first 4 calls fast. So I encourage people with little money to put in the sub-bin mode real-time settlement. The robot will be buying and selling, buying and selling, buying and selling. So you can edit all this stuff after the robot has bought your 4 margin calls and you want to open more margin calls. As I come to the end, that's why I say, when you are using your capital, expose 20% of your capital in the coin, 30% of your capital when the coin is pumping, and 50% of your capital when the market goes against you. So if I have $1,000, and the robot takes off 500 with the first 4 margin call, I still have $500. And I've shown you here on the picture here that I can open 10 margin calls. If I have $500, divide by 10, the robot can buy 10 margin calls, each with $50. And I can keep on enjoying as the robot is buying and selling, yet I have $1,000. I expose 20% of my capital, 30% when the market pumps. This is what I mean by 30%. I set margin call drops 4. I set 4 margin call drops with a 5%. The robot buys call 1 The robot buys call 2 and the market starts going up. I come here. I look at this graph of cover. The robot has, you see guys, those who have been following, this is, can we see signs of a pumping coin? Those who attended this week, signs of a pumping coin. 1, the crossover here using the MACD. 2, the increase in the volumes in the market. And also these green candles I can see. This is a sign that this coin is pumping. So if I have $1,000, I will say the robot maybe has bought only 2 margin calls. I'll come to my calculator here and say 1,000 times 0.3, $300. Then I come on this coin. I go back. I come on this coin. I tap on buy, market price, and I drop in my $300. I'll drastically pull my average price. This is my average price. And this will be my new average price. So I pull the average price closer to current price, and I'm able to get out faster on this coin. I have $1,000, but still I have a reserve of $500 if the market goes against me. If the market buys all the 4 margin calls, I still have $500 to open 10 more margin calls, where each call will take $50. Am I making sense? I don't know. Have we understood? You need to watch this again on YouTube if you don't get it. What if I open up to 20 margin call, then it stops at 10? What will happen to the others I have opened? Yes, they'll remain there, but the robot will sell. It means the robot has not gone lower than your expectation. The robot has not gone lower than your expectation. That's how it trades. I don't know why people suffer with floating loss. It's maybe they don't understand what to do. But thank you so much. Too much of anything is bad. You needed to, someone is saying how to set all coins at once in Royalq. Okay, I've seen this question several times. Okay, so you create your strategy. For example, you come out to my strategy setting. I have created my strategy. This is my strategy. Okay, so what I do, I come here on strategy. Tap on this graph here, this one. I tap on all. All I can use this side. I tap on bots, martingale bot. I choose. This means I'm choosing one coin, but I can come here on running, either tap on the settings, batch settings. This is this. The word batch setting is here. This one here, I don't know. And what are you doing? You want all coins. All coins. You confirm all coins, they will appear here. All of them in the USDT market, they are here now. All of them. Then I tick, then I tap on batch setting. You see all of them. All of them, they are here. I tap on trade settings. Then I tap on choose strategy. I tap on my strategy. Then I save it up. So all my coins will have the all my coins will have the same settings. So the robot is putting in all the settings. All of the coins, they have the same settings.
I can show you. So when I pick a coin, or when I come here on running and I look for a coin, let me say Alpine. I just tap on create, martingale board, create. I just tap on it, then I tap start because the settings are already in. I create my settings once. Let me repeat how you do that. Come here on running. Don't tap on both, come on running. Pick this car thing here, this car one here. Then tap on all. Pick this car thing here, then tap on all. Choose martingale board. Confirm. When you confirm, come back here, tap on that car thing again. You want all the coins, all of them. They will always appear, all of them. All what you can do, shortcut, tap on running, tap on settings, tap on running, tap on settings. Then select all. Or you can come back here again, this car thing. Then tap on all. That's where you win the game. All coins will appear. All of them. Tick them all down here. All down here. Batch setting. Why are you here? Already the coin is on one shot. Tap on trade setting. Then choose a strategy is down here. You have already set your strategy here. Tap on the strategy. Save. All the coins will receive the same setting. So once they send the signal for you, you just pick the coin, go and tap start. You don't set the coin again. Have you understood that? I don't know. Have I answered you, sir? Have I answered you, sir? Henry, have I answered you? You send all the coins. So once they send the signal, you just pick and tap start. You just pick and tap start. How about the take profit, sir? I have already set my take profit. Come back here, sir. Come back and see. Come back here. On my strategy setting. Now me, it's up to you, but I've already set my take profit. If the take profit is 2%, I come here, let me say I pick link, create, martingale, create, next. Instead, before I tap start, if the take profit was 2%, because before I tap start, I'll come here and drop in the first preset price as it has been given on a signal. Maybe it is 1, confirm. That will be the preset. Before I'll tap on trade setting for you, this one, and I come here and I edit the take profit. The edit is this pencil here. I edit the take profit, 2%. Edit 2%. Then I save. Then I still start. So I can just edit the take profit on trade settings. If it at all, it has a lesser take profit. Have I answered you, sir? Have I answered you? Omar, have I answered you? But is it good to do it or it does not affect? It has no effect. It has no effect.
Okay, guys, thank you so much. I've taken more time. This is not my behavior. I want to wish you a nice day. You can watch this video again. It will help you answer your challenges of floating loss, help you win, and keep you trading all the time. God bless you. Have a nice day. Thank you for coming. Love you all, and bye, everybody.